Hi, I'm Mitch Seekins, the vocal coach. It is so nice to see everyone finally heading back out on tour and doing shows. So I decided to do this series of singer survival tips to help out. This is stuff that I share with all of my students, from the ones launching world and national tours to those beginning to do local gigs again. It's so very important for a vocalist to stay as healthy as possible to get through the shows. These tried and true tips will be things that I've picked up over my 38 years of touring and gigging and have used myself. Oh, and if you find these helpful, please share and hit the subscribe button. There's more stuff coming. This is the beginning of April, which is a season change, and what comes with that are colds and flus, as well as the beginning of the allergy season. Yay! You are constantly exposed to different varieties of germs wherever you go, as each place has its own microclimate, so to speak. The germs in New York are not the same germs that are in LA, which are not the same germs in Chicago or Toronto. My first tip is zinc and vitamin C. I personally have used this for years, as well as my students. Grab a bottle of 10 or 20 milligram zinc tablets, any brand will do, it doesn't have to be fancy, and a bottle of at least 500 milligram time-release vitamin C. That is really important. The time-release aspect of the vitamin C allows the body to absorb the vitamin C as efficiently as possible. If you slam it with too much vitamin C, the body will just purge it and you don't get the full benefit. So the time release is actually really important. Depending on your stature, more vitamin C is perfectly okay. I'm 6'3" and I take 1,000 milligrams of time-release vitamin C every day. So if you're of a smaller stature, 500 milligrams will be just fine as well. How to use this combination? Depending on your size, once again, I'm a big guy, so I'll take between 30 or 40 milligrams of zinc. You really don't need to go much higher than that. And if you're smaller, you can go 10 or 20 milligrams. That's totally fine. But you take that once a day with the time-release vitamin C. And then you can use the vitamin C again later on in that day, but not the zinc. A good rule of thumb is when you take this, take it with a little bit of food, as the zinc may upset your stomach. You want to take this right as you begin to feel something coming on. You know that funny feeling in the throat where you start to feel like there's something not quite right? That's when you want to do this. You don't want to leave that feeling for 8 or 10 hours or 24 hours and then try to do this. You want to nail it right at the beginning. What this combination does is it kickstarts the body into producing massive amounts of white blood cells, which is your immune system. The white blood cells fight colds and flus and what have you. And you don't want to take this more than 4 days in a row, because if you begin to develop the cold, your body's going to be producing as many white blood cells as it can. It's that kickstart that really gives you an edge on kicking the cold before it really takes hold. Now, this doesn't work 100% of the time, but it works about 80% of the time. For example, I began to have a cold that my son brought home from school on Tuesday. It's Saturday today, and I started to feel it in my throat at about midnight. So I actually got out of bed, took my zinc and vitamin C, went back to bed, and then I took it again in the morning, and then hit it with vitamin C that night. And because I'm so big, it's 1,000 milligrams. And then I did it again on Thursday morning. Friday morning I did it. Today is Saturday. There's no cold there. Through that time, there was no point where I wouldn't have been able to do a show if I had to. So you might think, well, why don't I just take the zinc all the time? The problem with that is that even though it'll say it on the bottle, because their job, of course, is to sell tablets, your body will get accustomed to it, and it won't provide that jump start, that boost that's so important in combating a cold when it's trying to take hold. So I don't recommend taking it more than 3 or 4 days at a time. The vitamin C, like I said, I take it every day. Vitamin C is a good supplement to take every day for immune health. So the major takeaway of this is to know that to be a successful singer, you need to have a strong and robust immune system. there you go. That's my first singer survival tip. Once again, if you like this and found it helpful, please share and hit that subscribe button. I have more stuff to come.